Hi, Matt with Etrailer. Today we're going to be talking about the Etrailer ladder rack on the back of our 2024 Ram 2500. This is going to be a great option if you're looking for an affordable rack that's going to be great for those longer items. So let's check it out. So I think this is going to be great for anyone who's a contractor or works in a similar field where you need something that can carry those longer items like your ladders, lumber, piping, or any type of building material. But you also need something that's going to be within your budget and has plenty of points to tie your items off to. So let's start out at the top. So we are going to have these load stops. They'll keep your items from sliding off your ladder rack, and this top and bottom rail can be used to strap your items to. And right beneath that, we're going to have 3 holes on the outside, and you'll have 2 more on the inside. Those are going to be great for any type of hooks that might go through there, especially this one on the bottom. It's going to be larger. So if you have any type of ratcheting strap, it'll be perfect for that spot. But if you don't want to use straps, what you can do instead is come right over here to this cleat, and we can actually use ropes to tie your items off that way instead. Or if you're just out on the job, you're going back and from your vehicle and you need to grab your extension cords or anything like that, you can put those there for the meantime. This is going to have 4 feet. There's going to be 2 clamps. And these clamps are going to just squeeze onto your existing bed rails. And what I like about this is we don't have to do any drilling or modifications to our bed, which makes this just really easy to put on here. The biggest thing is just being able to lift it up here and put it in place. Let's get a couple measurements to see how this is going to sit up here. So the first one I'm going to get is going to be the distance between your bed and the bottom of your rail. So we know what we can fit back here. So this is going to be about 46.5 inches. That kind of gives you an idea of what you can put in back here. Like anything like a washer or dryer, I think will be pretty good. Now, if you try putting a fridge back here, that's going to be a little bit tight. You could do it if you put it in at an angle, but if you have anything on the top of this at the moment, it's going to get in the way. Now, for the total distance this sits up, this is going to be just about 53 inches. So that's a decent amount. It's something to really consider if you're going through any low clearance areas like a garage. Now, for the front of this, what I want to talk about is how this cantilever is sitting above our cab. And this distance here, we have about 2 inches on these 2 railings here. That's nice that we do get a bunch of railings on this to give us better support for our items. But I would suggest if you have anything that's really heavy on one side, leaving that side on your bed. Because if you leave that on the cab side, that could push this down, and that's not a lot of clearance. So just to be safe, keep the heavier side on the bed side. Now when it comes to how much you can put on here, you're going to be able to put 1,000 pounds of equipment on top of here. Now it's also important to check what your bed is rated for and then go from the lowest rated component. And also take into account if you have the bed fully loaded up and you're trying to max out what the ladder rack can handle, you might damage something. So definitely keep that in mind. Now in my opinion, I think this is going to be a great affordable rack because it's going to be able to get the job done. It's going to give you plenty of length and plenty of tie-off points. Now another really good one I'd recommend checking out is going to be the Buyer's Products. The Buyer Products one has a ladder rack that's made of aluminum, so it's a little bit easier to lift up and put back here. So if you find yourself having to remove this a decent amount of time because you do have those taller items that go in the back of your bed, that might be a good one to check out. But if you find yourself never really needing to take this off again, I'd probably go with this one. Now when it comes to installing it, it's a pretty simple process and we do talk about some tips and tricks. So if you're curious to see that, just stay tuned, we'll walk you through it. We're going to make sure we have our ladder rack all loosened up. And then what I do is typically we'll measure the width of my bed and the length and make sure that's going to kind of relate to my ladder rack as well since we can adjust it. Once that's done, I grab a couple friends. I got Jonathan and Tom here to help me out. The more the merrier. And we're just going to lift up on here. And the biggest thing is just to take our time. So we're going to lift up maybe a little bit more on one side. There we have it. And we're going to just pull it this way. We can adjust it a little bit if need be. Again, just making sure you take your time with this. We don't need a rush. And we're just going to roughly put it into place. So something we noticed when we were pushing this into place that our cantilever was about to make contact with the cab. So what we did was put a towel underneath that cantilever so it wouldn't scratch anything up. And this is most likely due to the placement of our front crossbar. What I'm going to do is bring this forward more, so that's going to make it more stable and hopefully keep this above our cab. But before I can get to that, we need to make sure this is nice and stable. So I'm going to come to these rear feet or crossbars and make sure these are clamped to our bed. To clamp them down, what we're going to do is make sure this is as close to our bed rails as possible. And we're going to grab one of our clamps. We're going to make sure that flat section goes underneath your bed rails. This is important to make sure there's no tabs impeding your way, because there are going to be a decent amount underneath there. We're going to put a flat, a split, and then we're going to put a nut on the very top of this. At this point, we're just going to get this hand tight. And once I have this on there completely, we're just going to do the same thing with this open spot right next to us. And then I'm going to repeat this on the other side. And once this is fully secured down like this, we'll come by with a socket and a wrench and tighten it down all the way. And with those back sides tightened down, this will give us enough stability to push this forward. I like to push them at the same time. If you're finding it's a little bit difficult to still push this, what you can do is just try to bring it back in and push again. And if it's still not doing it, just loosen up these bolts a little bit. Now that I've tightened all my feet down, I was able to remove the towel since we're no longer even close to making contact with our cab. And from here, you can come back by and just adjust these towers a little bit to make sure everything is level. Right now, we're looking pretty good. And from here, I'm going to come down to every one of our bolts and I'm going to tighten them down. Even if you think you already tightened it, just double check and tighten it again. And from here, just give it a good old shake test. And if it doesn't move, you're good to go. You can take it out for a ride. Now, if you guys have any other questions, let us know here at Etrailer. And again, I'm Matt, and thanks for watching.